Hi everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to my Thursday live stream where I do photo editing, and I'm just going to run a little series using Photolab 4 Elite for a little while. But I'll probably get back to using Olympus Workspace and stuff, but I really been enjoying the Photolab 4 Elite. Um, and I see we have a lot of people here already. Awesome. We have Dave Nelson, Marcia, good to see you. Good morning. Randy's here. How you doing, Randy? It's weird. For some reason, your vlog when you did your drive, it it was still coming in at 480p. I can't figure out why. Um, and Lysippus is here. Rahu, good to see you. Yeah, I'm a little bit cropped, maybe, right? But it's okay. Uh, and good morning, Scott. All right, so um, let me go ahead and I need to arrange my screen just a little bit. There we go, so I can see what you guys are seeing basically. Make sure you guys are getting these. So I have, looks like 12 images today, not too many. Let me just double check. I mean, that's still a lot. It's still going to take a while. I'll try and get through them. Um, Let me just double check that I got them all. And we'll get started. Gaming with Stan, good to see you. Oh, you like my Starship? Yeah, I got tired of that other stupid open office space or whatever that was there. Um, just mix it up a bit. Okay, so it looks like yeah, I don't think I'm missing any. All right, good. And Osman, good to see you. Good day. Um, yeah, I saw that, Dave, the PNG, so I just converted it to TIFF a few minutes ago, just before I got online. And Plato's here. How are you? And Catherine, hello. I think I got everybody. John Truman, hi. Good to see you. And as always, thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's get to the photo editing. Control 3. No, 2. There we go. I think. Control 3 should be right. Yeah, that's weird that the other window popped up. This is still not the right window. Uh, let me let me fix that. Because what you're looking at is just my folder where I download your stuff. Um, we need to be on display 1. No, there we go. This is the right display. So let me maximize the screen. All right, let's go to the first one here. And I think we have, this is from John Follows. We use the EM5 Mark III 6mm macro lens at f4. Okay, ISO 200, all looks good. It's a little, looks like my backyard actually. I need to sometime. Probably should have shot it like f11 or something, get a little more depth of field, but I think we're okay. Let's try and bring a little more tones into this. So I'm already in this tool. I'm gonna grab this. Let's bring the light in coming from this way, like so. Oops, that's saturation. Let's do this. Let's give it a little more light this way. And then maybe a little more gold. Okay, and then let's go this way. And let's make this side a little darker. Oops. Maybe a little more gradual than that. Okay. I don't think we really need to do anything else. Let's see if I got the optics module. Is that a... Just gonna check something. I see. So he's already applied like the deep prime module to it. That's why it's so crisp. Let's add some contrast, just a little bit of micro contrast, just to bring out those details. Pull the highlights a tiny bit. And still a little bit too strong on the shadows. So let me go to this one. Let's not do so much there. Hey, let's darken the I'm going to try to make this side of the this grass or whatever this is, this weed, a bit darker. I'm going to darken it overall. Just move this up. Okay. Um, Not too much in the shadows. All right, I think that's it really. So let's just do a quick compare. So there's the before. The only thing really I think that can be done here is uh, just increase the tones in the background. Um, just add a little bit more light. Try to make it a little more golden maybe. I can add a little more yellow maybe. And then down here, just cool it off a bit. Maybe not that much. And that's about it. I mean, it's already a clean picture, a very isolated subject, and not much else I can think of, other than maybe going very extreme, right? Where One other thing I can do is like make the background completely black against this grass, where I would just, not this, I keep pulling the wrong slider. But I would just pull this down completely black. Let me push the midtones and highlights back up. Oops. Um, and do the same thing on this side. Just pull in the shadows a bit. Bring the highlights back up. And maybe do black and white. I mean, that could be another direction to go with this image, but I kind of like the warm feeling of the original, right? Something down here, right? This looks good too. So okay, John, thanks for sending that. And oh, I'm glad you like this, Dave. Um, so we got from Lauren. So this, I guarantee this is a JPEG, right? Yeah. So we shot with the M10 Mark II with the 45 f1.8. Awesome combination. Good aperture, good shutter speed. Yep, everything looks good here. Uh, whew, okay. Um, man, there's a lot to take in here. Lots of contrast. And only really one color, maybe a tiny bit of green, but mostly reds and yellow. Um, and there's just wow, this really has a lot of texture. But I think I'll focus in right on these leaves because I think that's what he was seeing here was how this light right in here was coming in across the leaves. So I think we can crop this part out and a little bit up in here and yeah, we can crop a lot of this out, I think, and just focus on the leaves. So let's do this crop. Let me see how that's a little better. It's a little tight on the edges. Maybe angle it some. Okay. Now let's bring in some textures. So I'm going to use a brush. So we got flow. Let's increase the flow and opacity. And size, a little bigger on the size. Okay, that's good. So what I want to do is bring out the texture of the leaves. And I'm going to do that with probably contrast or something. And it doesn't have to be, spot on, right? We can spill into the rest of the scene a little bit because the rest of it is very contrasty anyway. Going here a little bit. All right, let's increase the micro contrast. Where is that here? Yeah, something like that. And let's bring the tones down just a bit. All right. Or the exposure. Because it's clipping the highlights a little bit too strong when I increase the contrast, but um, if I duplicate that, Yeah. All right. Now the leaves got lots of texture. Um, I'd still like to separate it a little bit, but let's how do I start a new brush? No. Let me just do it this way. I'm still not 100% on this knowing how to use this, but I wanna just darken a lot of this other area away from the leaves. Okay. Just get in here. Okay. A little bit more here. Oh, I kind of overspilled there a little bit, I think. Yeah. Let's let's erase a little bit here. Okay, good enough. Uh, Man, that looks a little bit too brushy. So I'm gonna soft focus it just a tiny bit. Let me fix this brush. This is bothering me. I think all I need to do is just get rid of this double layer and yeah, let me erase. Let me be a little bit softer on the erasing in here. A little bit softer right in here. Wow, even softer. Just around the edges. It's just feeling a little bit too brushed in. Um, yeah, this is just too brushed in. All right, I think I'll leave it here. And get rid of that soft focus. All right, so there's the completed one. Um, if we look at the original, I mean the original is the leaves are just too blended in, I think, with the other textures, whatever those are, like little leaves or flowers. So I feel like I had to separate them a little bit. So and then angle it, you know, crop in, and that's my final edit. Oh, did we lose sound? Let me see. You shouldn't. We should be good. Oh, this bottom leaf, maybe a little bit, but I think, you know, it's okay. Maybe brightening that a little bit, but it wouldn't flow with the way the light's coming in. So I think it's okay. Uh, yeah, Dave says it sounds good, and I'm looking at my screen here. The mic looks like it's coming through okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. One from Garrett, some kind of rodeo. Wow, this is noisy. We need I'm gonna oh, Nikon V1. So it's a little 1-inch sensor camera. And we're at ISO 3200, so yeah, you're really pushing this, but I see why, because you wanted the fastest shutter speed. So it makes sense. So I think considering the gear you had, this is about as good a shot as you could get technically, right? So good job on the settings. Because now with software now we can correct so many things with noise, especially with this deep prime. It's pretty amazing. But let's look at the composition. I think I'm gonna cut off this left side. So let's um let's come in nice and tight. I don't think I can apply any kind of rules here other than just balancing the image. That's a little tight. There, that's good. And yeah, there's a lot of color noise in here. So we'll fix all this up, I think, without any problems. Uh Let's adjust the lighting. So we'll just do smart lighting, maybe increase that a little bit, and just give it a little more push here. I don't need to do anything there. And then let's apply some optical corrections. Give it a little more sharp. Look at this. This guy's face is right in here. I don't like that. I'm sorry, dude. You have to go. Let me get rid of this guy. Feather a little bit less. I don't want the lady's face either. How about it? How about an empty chair? There we go. All right. Okay, the lighting overall is a little bit flat. And I'm going to I need to separate the subject a little bit more. So let me brush in some light. Let's use this brush. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. No, I like a little feathering and stuff. A little smaller. All right, so the light's kind of coming in from the right. So I'm going to brush in just the places. Let's go this way. So a little bit right here, a little here, and just overall on the front. Maybe a little bit extra on the main. Okay. Now let's add a little bit light in. There we go. A little bit here. Ooh, that's a little too much. Let's back that off a little bit. No, a little less. And it's a little bit too much here. So I'm going to take that off. A little more. A little more. And then add some back in. Right here. Okay. Let's take a little bit off the top. All right, and then I'm going to add another brush. Let's go a little bigger with this one. Let's do 50-50. I'm going to darken the crowd right in here. Let's get a little smaller. Okay. Bigger, a little less flow. Just want a little bit more shadow. Underneath the horse. Oh, I'm really jacking this up now. Too much brushing. All right, we'll just stop. Let's go back to this brush. I put a little bit too much. Just back this off a little bit. All right. A little bit here. Definitely underneath. I don't know why this blue is so strong. I need to really back that off, especially right here. Let me increase the flow a little bit. Right there on this back edge. All right, that's getting there. Then a little bit more here. Okay. All right, that's good enough. Let me get this out. And this. A little more flow. I'm sorry, guys. I just hate it when I start over brushing and then it just looks stupid. All right. Let's back this off a little bit. And then I'm going to warm it up a little bit. Just a tad. Let me fix this here. All right, and let's export it. I don't think there's anything else I need to do. Let me apply the deep prime. Sharpness looks good. Maybe a tiny bit more sharpness. Let's pick an area that I can see. Horse. And then we'll kill this noise a little bit more. Oops. Let's try that. Okay, that looks good. And I'm just looking at this little window up here on the right, just to see how we're doing. Okay, color-wise, I think everything's pretty okay. I don't know if just cool. Yeah, I like daylight. And just a slight tilt this way. Ah, come back in. All right. Okay, to see the effects of the deep prime, let me go ahead and exit this. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Roberto. Apply the deep prime and then edit, but I don't want to lose any of the data. So I work with the raw image first, get all the lighting, tones, colors, everything I want, and then work with the deep prime really. Because when you apply deep prime, it's going to be throwing data out. So I try to work with the raw image first. All right, let's export. We'll just do just a standard JPEG to the original folder. And once that's done exporting, did that export already? Oh no, I can see my progress bar down here. All right, now it's done. So I'm going to reset this. Go to the photo library and yeah, so there's the final edit. So I think yeah, the deep prime cleaned up all of the noise. I may have overdone it a little bit, but it did clean up all of the noise. And then I tried to separate the horse and the rider a little bit more from the audience, you know, by brightening them up. I could have done a little better job with the brushing underneath here. This is a little rough, but uh, other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Because if we compare it to, here's the original, um, you can see, you know, all of the color noise. That's the biggest problem is there's a lot of color noise in here. And everything is lit evenly, like the audience is lit about the same as the horse and rider. The barrel's standing out a little bit strong, but uh, let's go back to my edit. I think I'd have to play with the sharpening a little bit down here. Like I'd have to reduce it here, increase it a little bit here. So I'd have to do more brushing to kind of get this looking a little bit more natural. But in terms of tones, composition, lighting, this is where I need to be. All I have to do is fine tune some of the editing because it's just soft here, which might be kind of natural. But this part being soft doesn't look right to me, right here on the cheek. But okay. Yeah, the barrel is part of the subject. It's just so much brighter than everything else. But that's okay, I suppose. All right. Let's see. Oh, all right. Let's go here. This is from John Truman, Nikon D700. Wow. Classic. Awesome camera. 28 to 105. So we got the kit lens. I was never a fan of that lens personally. I had it for a very short time and got rid of it. But anyway, um, nice. Good 12 megapixel image. And setting wise, F9, ISO 200. Yep, all looks good. You probably could have done ISO 100 on this, but uh, oh, you're welcome, Garrett. Was that your photo I did? I can't the rodeo photo. Okay, let's see. Now this I recognize this structure over here. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is from that series, The Prisoner. I forget the name of this little town they called it. But there was they had like number one, number two. He was what, number 86? I can't no, that was Get Smart. I forget what number he was in this show. This was a great show though. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I really want to focus on this structure because this to me is the main thing, right? Um, the rest of it is okay, but being that this place is kind of famous or infamous, depending if you're looking at it as a fiction or in real life, it's famous in real life, it's infamous in fiction, right? As it was in the show. Uh, so I'm going to make that a bigger part of the image. Man, that is so cool to see this place. I hear it's a tourist attraction now. So let's apply some optics. I don't like that. How about perspective? That helps a little. Let's roll this off. Okay. And I'm going to give this a kind of a nostalgic look, like a 1960s look. So we don't really need to do much. I always apply deep prime even if it's not a noisy image. It just improves the image somehow. Uh, and then let's pick, no, not a positive, maybe a negative film, because most ACFA, ooh, no, ACFA, Fuji, they deal with the reds and greens a lot, but yeah. And then finally, let's try one of the Kodaks. Kodak is not bad. Let's go up. Yeah, Kodak 400. And then I just need to warm up the image a little bit. Uh, I'm using the optional DXO film pack, so ouch. How about just a warm tone? That still doesn't look right. I'm gonna try this Agfa Ultra Color. It doesn't change much. Ah, there we go. That looks good. I'm just gonna back it off a little bit. All right. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can do anything else with this color. I if I punch the reds a little bit and the cyans, let me see if D prime is helping in here. A little bit. It's not making much difference here. But okay, I think I'll call it right there. I don't need to export it. It'll be tiny bit better in if I export this, but you wouldn't be able to see it on YouTube. So I'm just gonna end it here. And if I click here, here's the before, cropped and everything. And this is a very natural picture you would get from a modern digital camera, but since that show is from the 60s, I wanted to kind of go a little bit nostalgic and make it a little bit more aged. I mean, the only other thing I could do is make it look like it was a photo of this place that maybe he took trying to escape. Like I think in one of the episodes he took pictures of the place and uh and took it back to headquarters and they were like, yeah, so what? So I'm going to apply maybe let's try a light leak like that and yeah, just a scratches. How about creased paper? No, that looks like crap. Um, there it is, scratches. Yeah, a few scratches. And we'll rotate the light leak to the top. There we go. Now I'm done. I think that looks pretty freaking awesome. I just need to fade it a little more because if this was one of the pictures he took back to headquarters, it would definitely be a little bit faded too. And less contrast probably because he was using a little tiny camera. I can do this. The S word? What are you guys talking about? Okay, there we go. I got a little carried away, but that was a great show. I think I watched the whole series at least twice. It's been a while, but hey, I love the phones and the egg chairs and everything they had in that show. It's very retro future, right? Okay, so there's the before, there's the after. Before, and we'll go full screen. And that, yeah, I got to back off the scratches a little bit, but that looks pretty cool. Um, all right, let's go to a couple of, oh, this is great. I'm not sure who sent this one. Let me see if I can find their name over here. Raho. Okay, Raho. Yeah, I would love to come and visit that place once, right? I mean, that's like a real place. It's not like I'm a big Star Trek fan too. It's not like Star Trek where they just demolish the sets when they're done with the series and you can never go back to the original set, but this place, is very original. because it's an actual place. Not like a lot of shows that are just all in a studio, and then when the show's canceled, they destroy everything or sell it off. All right, so we use the EM5 Mark II with a 14 to 140 Panasonic, ISO 200, f8, 1/100th. Yep, all good settings. What was your focal length? 14 millimeter. Yeah, you're fine. So I think on this, it's just a little crooked. Oh, Ben is here. Hey, Ben, how you doing? I see Ben from the Narrowband channel. I'm gonna do some Astro next weekend. Hopefully I can squeeze in one or two more before I go out there, but I want to plan a trip to back up to Pennsylvania to see you. Um, okay. What if I do auto? No, auto doesn't know what it's doing. Sometimes auto is just a total loss. There we go. Um, don't get your hopes up, Ben, on my Astro photos, man. They're just uh, they're rough. But I like that new software, Asta or something. I'm gonna try that. I like the results people are getting from that. There we go. Do a perspective correction and distortion. Whoops. I don't know. I kind of like it slightly distorted. I don't know. Well, nah. We'll apply the correction. All right. Let's see what else can I do in here. Do that and this. Not that we really need a lot of sharpness in an image like this. I think compositionally we're good. I wish I had a little more room on the right. I'm wondering if let me turn this off and see. Yeah, that gives me what I need. I'm just gonna balance this a little bit. Take a little bit off the bottom. I don't want to see all of those poles. Yeah, that's a little cleaner. A little more tilt. You know what's interesting is these boats don't look seaworthy at all. But they got all these ropes on them. Like, these ropes are like, in pretty good shape. Which implies people are taking these boats in and out. Otherwise, why bother roping them off? Just let them go out to sea and sink. Okay, let me add some texture to the sky. So I need a grad filter a little bit tight right there. And we'll apply some clear view like so. And in terms of light, I think the lighting is so soft, it's hard to tell where it's coming from. But based on this cloud here, I think the light's coming off from the right, maybe from behind the camera a little bit. Let me look. Just going to get a closer look at yeah, there's a shadow right underneath here, very subtle. So the light's almost coming from the top. right right here from the top. So it's hitting the top of this, and a little, all right. I mean, I try to find where the light's coming in so I can brush in and make it look more natural. Uh, so I'm going to, let me work with the colors. I like the blues in here. Let me grab a blue. Just saturate that more. And then the yellows. Okay. A little bit too much. A little bit too much yellow down here. So we'll just saturate that a tiny bit. So I want the yellow from the boat to really stand out. Okay, good. And we need to desaturate this because that had some blues in it that I don't want those to be too blue either. But maybe a little more contrast and micro contrast. Just make them more dramatic. All right. Clear view, smart lighting. Back this off a little bit. I think Plato makes a good point about the lighting. Said, leave the light. It fits the poor condition of the boats. That's true. I think my challenge here is with the horizon. So, you got these poles here which kind of trick the eye into thinking those should be vertical, but they're not. They're crooked. I don't know. I need a little more contrast and a little less color. Let me back off some of this. Not the vibrancy, but just saturation on the whole image. Right about there. And we'll make it a little grittier. Like so. More exposure comp. More color. Do it this way. All right, how are we doing? I guess that's not bad. So here's the before. So it's already a really nice picture. So all I'm doing is just punching up the contrast in both the tones and in the colors, particularly the blues and the yellow. And if I let go and we look at it this way, I made it a little more gritty. Um, Let me punch in so it resolves a little bit. Man, look at all the detail in this image. If I do a side by side, well, here's the full image, and there's a before and after side by side. So not much there. I didn't do a lot to edit this. I just kind of just emphasized the things that I liked about it. Um, so yeah, it's just a little bit gritty. I mean, if now that I got the tones and colors where I want them, um, from here you can just kind of, like I feel like a soft focus would help, could help this image, like give it a little more interesting look to it. So if you go soft focus and black and white, and then just add a little bit more tone like this. I mean, this is just another way to go, right? Just kind of a soft, very soft look. Um, and I like this too, right? Kind of a muted, soft look as well. But if you don't like those kind of shots, you can kind of go back to the gritty, sharp, contrasty type thing like this one. All right. Let's see. We got one here from Ivan. And we used a EM5 Mark III with a 14-42 kit. Oh, the power zoom lens. ISO 200 at 5.6, 1/60th. And you dialed in a +1 EV. Wow. Why would you do that? I'm wondering. I mean, I guess you're trying to keep the shadow detail without getting too much noise. Um, for me, I would have tried to. I probably would have dialed in a -1 just to keep the highlights in the waters. But let's see if we can. Let me just apply like a basic preset that I have. Okay, that helps. All my preset does is apply a lot of auto corrections and just auto on the clear view. We can pull the highlights in a little bit more. Not too much. Right there. Yeah, right there is good. And compositionally, I think um, we'll get rid of a little bit. I just want mostly the smooth water here in the frame. I wonder, eh, but I like this one tree too. Let me try a square. Okay, 5 by 4, and maybe this way. Okay, that works for me. Slight tilt this way. Come in. Okay. Uh, this little grass is a little distracting. See if I can. Now, color-wise, let me look at it kind of cooled off a little bit. Maybe, why didn't Cloudy cool that off? Just cool it off a little bit there. Add a little magenta. Okay. And yeah, we'll go a little surreal. A little more in the blacks. Okay. A smaller brush. I am Not happy with this. All right, that's good enough. All right, so there's the it's my final edit, maybe a tiny bit warmer. I'm almost back to the original white balance now. But what the problem is the water's all right, so I need one more brush. I'm going to just very lightly just brush in just a little bit cooler on the water. Hesse's asking what's the best raw processing software in my opinion. I mean, I've tried a few. I for processing a single image, if that's all we're talking about, DXO, DXO Elite. What is this called? Yeah, Photolab for Elite to me is the best. I mean, it as an entire workflow, it's not the best, but for a single image, I have not been able to duplicate the kind of results I get in anything else. All right, I think I'm done with this. So there's the before image, you know, with the crop and everything. And there's my edit. So I just softened it up, warmed up a few spots, you know. And I wanted to increase the contrast in the background. Like up in here, like I just blacked out all of this. I could make this a little darker and a little darker here, but uh, that's why to me, the original exposure, you dialed in a +1. You know, for me, I like dark, contrasty images. So I would have dialed in a -1 to definitely save the highlights and not worry about these other areas that are already in the shade. Because I know a lot of people, they dial in +1 because they want to recover the shadows without noise, with less noise. But I've just gotten into the habit of just, you know, crushing the blacks down and the shadows down so that the noise doesn't show anyway because they're almost completely black. And that's just a habit that I'm into. It doesn't mean that it's the way to go, you know, it's just a habit that I have because, you know, on Micro Four Thirds sensors, they're just going to have noise, you know. Any crop sensor camera, really any camera, it doesn't matter full frame, you're going to get noise in the shadows. Uh, so I've just gotten into the habit of underexposing slightly so I can really push the noise into the blacks. But okay, yeah, I know music. Um, what you mean about the water being brown? I mean, a lot of that's algae too, right? But okay, let's go to the next one. All right, this is from John Follows. EM10 Mark III, 12 to 45 Pro. Wow. Let's see. We got, what is that cement down here? It's like a cement slab of a sidewalk. A little bit of vignetting in the corner here. Probably had a lens hood on or something, right? And is this a raw image? It is raw, so it's possible, you know, a JPEG would have corrected that, but I'm going to apply a basic preset that I set up, and That did correct most of the vignetting. It brought some of the detail in the skies. Gosh, there's like all these little slabs, you know? Maybe they're not slabs. Maybe they're monoliths that have been knocked down, right? Uh, that's just weird. I've never seen just metal or cement slabs just laying around like that. But we have this one, I don't know if there's anything I can do with that because it's not, there's not enough of it in the frame to make it the subject. Maybe, I think your intent was really to make this slab the subject. So if I really crop in tight, it's just not interesting enough though. Let me look in that. Yeah, there's a couple more that came in. I see it looks like a some kind of animal with horns. I'll try and get to it. Okay. So I get it. You were going for a little foreground, midground, background kind of thing, but the foreground is just not that interesting. The rocks, these rocks are okay. All right, let me crop a little bit. I'm going to crop this thing out. I don't like it at all. And someone suggested a pano, so let's try 16 by 9 and see if we can crop out most, all of that slab and just keep some of the rocks. That's a little better. And this angle, okay, that's a little better. Let's come in a little bit too much sky. Yeah, let's go with that. I like how this is framing here. The sky's kind of framing the left side. And I'm going to take a look at the slab in the water is wood. Oh, okay. Thanks, John. They are launch slipways. Oh, okay. I guess for boats. That makes sense. And they would have to be wood. You wouldn't want concrete slipways, right? Uh, I'm thinking, yikes. No, the color is nicer. But what we need is we need some selective contrast here. All right, let's back off the shadow contrast. Increase the midtones. Back off the highlights. Okay. Yeah, sky replacement, that might help. The color's just still too strong. Let me try a different way. Yeah, that's better. Separate the colors a little more. Go a little bit on the lens sharpness. Okay. Let me just take one last look at the composition. So right now I don't see too many other. I mean, this is kind of valid too. If I do corner to corner. I need more rock. What's in here? Just more rock. Okay. Um, I think that's it. So so here's the original image, right? I mean, compositionally, I'm just not feeling it this as it's shot. And it's hard to figure out what the subject is, or I mean, the slabs are interesting, but they're not framed in a way that makes it. I mean, I kind of see where you're going, but I don't. And not that I would know how to compose this if I was there either. But the way it's composed now, I'm just not feeling the subject matter being the slips there. But okay, so this is my final edit here. Um, I just thought, I just the wide shot was okay too, but I decided to try vertical because I want more of the rocks in the foreground to be more present, and even a square cropped, I would get rid of some of the sky. And if I exported this, that would clean up a lot of this. There's a little bit of banding or pixelation up here, and exporting it would clean that up. But at least there's one slip here, so this makes kind of an accent to the entire image. It makes it a little bit interesting because this is here. But the way it was before, um, why isn't this undoing? Yeah, I tried the 16 by 9 and it was okay. I didn't I went with something like this on the 16 by 9. I felt like there was just too much water on the left side when I did it this way. So the picture it just looks kind of unbalanced when I went 16 by 9 because the sky gets too big, the water gets too big, and there's very little land and no rocks. So that's why I went with this, this vertical, right? Well, not this one, but something more like this, where there's more rock and the sky is kind of neutral. Yeah, it needs a bikini, right? I agree, Lauren. Or any person, really. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, we have a nice shot here. Nice and crisp. EM10 Mark II with a kit lens. See, I would have never known that if I didn't look at the EXIF, because that's such a good picture. Um, and I like the composition overall. I would have liked a little more room here on the left, but let's just do my standard preset. Let me see if a vignette helps a little bit. Yeah, that makes sense. So the context of the John is saying that you don't normally see the rocks in that area because I guess the water level's so low. So that's what made the picture interesting. But I didn't have that context. So I didn't know what those slips were. I didn't, I wasn't. That's why I was having a hard time with that image, is because I don't have any context, or, I'm not well traveled, in other words. I don't know what anything is. So sometimes I focus on the wrong things, right? Which in this case, that image, it makes sense to focus on the rocks, but I was just kind of not knowing anything. I was just trying to balance it. Yeah, a little. Okay, so I'm sorry. Let me go back to this one. And this was from Image Writer. Okay, so I'm going to crank up the sharpness on the flower, and I'm going to make this image a lot darker. Okay, a little bit too much. Let's see. I'm going to turn that off. Well, that looks a little better with that. All right, let's warm this up a little bit. It's a little too warm. Okay. And maybe let me just get in here. Okay. Oh, I'm just trying to separate the flower a little bit more. So I'm gonna crop it a little bit more. Just not so sure. Okay, one more thing. Let me do that, and we'll darken the yellows just a tiny bit. TIFF is a better format. That's pretty close to raw. PNG, they have different kinds of PNGs. Because Dave Nelson is asking, in my opinion, what's better, PNG or TIFF? Um, with a TIFF file, uh, I believe you get more data. With a PNG file, you have to be a little bit careful because there's different formats of PNG. Um, and I'm not an expert on that, but I always use TIFF because my understanding is that all of the raw formats, whether it's the ORFs, the NEFs, Canon, Nikon, all of the raw formats are a derivative of a TIFF file. So the TIFF has all of the information by default, and then all of the other camera manufacturers kind of built off a TIFF file and added their own stuff. And the TIFF file you can apply. A TIFF file also retains a lot of the EXIF data that was in the original file, and you can still apply optical corrections and things like that. Whereas a PNG, I don't think you can do that. A PNG file doesn't have EXIF data, if I recall correctly. Don't quote me on that though. Um, I think I'll leave it here. I just wanted to separate the flower a little bit. So here's the before image. It's a nice bright image. Um, so I think it was shot perfectly. It just needed some editing, and then just bringing the background down and highlighting the flower with a little bit of light painting, right? So again, there's the before image, perfectly captured in my opinion, and just bringing it down a little bit. Um, yeah, so narrowband, you're saying the TIFF files save more EXIF data as well than a PNG? Okay, let's see. We have a field here, and ISO 200 f11 with an EM5 Mark II 12-40 Pro. So it's just a vertical landscape, but oh, we have a mansion back here. Looks like it's boarded up though. But anyway, or a castle. Man, I would have zoomed in to try to capture this uh, castle or whatever it is back there. Yeah, PNG, yeah, I do the same thing. All my thumbnails and lots of stuff I do with PNGs is because I can do the transparent background. It's good for like vector graphic type stuff. But yeah, TIFF is definitely the better photo image. All right, let me focus on this. And it's kind of on a hill because the mansion or castle is completely level, but then the landscape is on a hill. Yeah, it could be haunted, right? So, man, I would have zoomed all the way to 40 millimeters. That would have probably made it closer to this. And then I would have cropped in even more from there. All right, let me try a horizontal. I mean, I kind of like these three clouds up here. Okay. And let's let's just do some basic optical stuff. Um, and with color, I think the color's not bad. What about our contrast? Let me get, there's just not much red. I'd like to bring out the castle a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. I would straighten it, but then the castle would be crooked. And that would even look weirder, right? Because this castle is perfectly straight. Um, so I'm gonna go with that and then just warm it up a little bit, maybe. Maybe not that much. Tiny bit there. Uh, still kind of it's still a little bit mundane though. Um, the sun is coming in right on top too. So this is like a midday shot. Let me see. What if I bring this in? I'm just gonna take, I'm gonna take 1 minute to see if I can do an extreme edit here. Nah, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is so dumb. Uh, oh, this is so stupid. All right. I need to go back to, where I was way back here. I think I'll leave it here. Um, I'm sorry. Whose image was this? Image writer or I can't remember. I just did not do a good job here at all. Adrian. Adrian Evans. Okay, Adrian. Yeah, there's just a lot of like um there's a lot of I don't know how else to put it. There's just a lot of nothing in this image. We have the flowers, right? And in of themselves, they're okay, but as a whole pasture, um, it's just it doesn't work for me. And the castle's too far away to make that interesting. And so is this tree line. So the only interesting thing really was the clouds. And and then all I could do is just process it to clean it up and then maybe just warm it up a tiny bit. I think I pulled that off just a little bit this way. And that's about it. So I don't know. If anyone has any suggestions, I'm open to, you can give these to Adrian, but I'm not seeing, I mean, it's really, I get it. When you're on the scene, it's a beautiful landscape, but photographically, it's very hard to capture what you're feeling, I think. The only thing I can think of that I would have done different on the scene is to zoom in all the way to 40 millimeters and capture as much of that castle as you can. I mean, I saw a recommendation to maybe do a rule of thirds, uh, with the castle and maybe capture more of the foreground, the flowers, right? Because the flowers are very pretty, but there's just too many of them and they're too far away. I mean, this composition really for me doesn't work any better than the last one if that's where you're going. Um, but okay, yeah. Lauren says the long walk to view is the story. I guess. I'm sorry, Adrian. I really didn't do your image justice at all. The best I came up with was like just these three clouds. All right, let's go to the next one. I was trying to do something clever with the lighting by 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 light painting, but I couldn't make that work either. All right, we have a cool action shot here. by the original EM5 with a 75 to 300. Man, you were really pushing to the limits here. ISO 800 or 1/800th of a second, ISO 200, f8. All right, good. Good settings. I think a little faster shutter speed for this kind of action, but it looks like you got it. Intuitively, I would have used a faster shutter speed, but like I said, I think you got it. So this is a pretty straightforward edit, really. Let me back off some of this. Actually, I'll just turn that off. And we'll just accentuate the waves a little bit. And have the surfer coming into the frame this way. A little bit wider shot. And make the waves a little bit translucent here and here, here. Maybe right there a touch. A little smaller. Then give it a little bit of green. Okay. Man, it doesn't need that much. Okay. Raho likes the center position of the surfer. And I've reduced the drama. Okay. I can't disagree with that too much. It's just too wide for me. I like to crop in tight. I'm gonna go in just a little bit more. I'll try not to take too much off, but there we go. Um, let's see. All right, pretty simple. So I just basically increased the contrast and tried to make the inside of the waves a little bit lighter. So if you look at the before, it's just a little soft, that's all. Just a little more contrast and maybe a little more sharpness, and that's about it. Let me check the surfer guy. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So before, after. You are funny. Yeah, negative space helps. I'm not good at that stuff. It's like there's definitely areas of photography that I need to really get better at. soft, light, low contrast images obviously was one that I tried to work on a couple weeks ago. And then the other one is like working with negative space, right? I'm just not, I just don't have an eye for that right now. Okay, see this scene here, I got two thoughts on this, right? One is informationally, there's a lot of information in this shot, and I don't want to crop it at all because there's so many things that tells us about this concert. With the giant screen TVs, the audience, and the band down in the center, and then all of the all this negative space up here, uh, which would be interesting if I brought that out, probably, raise the shadows. And then there's this couple right here watching the band, which I like. So if I just focused on that, right, we kind of lose the context of everything else. But I kind of like this. So I'm going to go with this. The guy in the red shirt was drunk and almost got thrown out. Oh, this is your shot, Phil? That's cool. All right, let's apply some optical stuff like this, just default stuff. Prime, get rid of the noise, and tack in a bit more sharpness. Lighting wise, that's okay. Oh, I like that. That's bringing in a little bit more of the lighting, I think. See if we can increase some of the contrast on the lighting. Yeah. And then the white balance is going to be impossible, but I'm going to white balance for this area down here. It's just a little bit cool. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Some people, they just don't. All right. Can we bring in some of the highlights maybe? And back off this color this way. And I'm not going to do too much here, but I just want a little more drama with the lights. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Uh, so let me export this because there's some noise in this image, that original folder. that the deep prime will clean up. Because if I punch in, because it's a very low light environment, you can see a lot of this noise. And I think the deep prime will clean this up nicely. So we'll give that a second to export. Did that finish already? Let me see. Yeah, it did. Here's the finished. No, that's the edit. Here's the finished one. Um, so if I zoom in, you can see it took care of a lot of the noise. And Rita's hat, lions, not sheep. That's cool. And then if we compare it to the original, let me reset this. Here's here's the original image. So like I was saying before, there's a lot of information here that make it an interesting shot as is. But I decided to just focus on this guy that was, you know, was giving you a hard time at the show. Uh, so going back to my edit, and there's my edit, just kind of cleaned up, added a little bit more light. Yeah, okay. Okay, Marsha, we'll see you later. Um, let's go to, okay, we got this one, and then we got one that Annette sent in, and another one that just needs to be viewed only. Okay. Um, Gosh, I feel like I've seen this before, something very similar, but it looks really good as is. All I would do with this is just apply my auto presets and maybe consider a black and white, although I do like the blues and greens in here. Ooh, I like the black and white in this case. Let me darken the blues. Just to give that a little more drama. Crush the blacks a little bit, push the highlights. Just gonna maybe not so much on the blues. Okay. And let's add a grad filter here. This way. And just a little bit brighter overall. Oops. Something's not right. What did I do? Oh, Lauren's heading out. Okay, Lauren, we'll see you later. I know these edits take a while sometimes. It's my fault though. I shouldn't have to spend this much time. All right, let's see. Oops. Just a little bit more on this. All right, I'm done. Basically, I just converted black and white and gave it some more contrast. I mean, the color looks really good too. And the composition is fine. No cropping needed at all because the corners are right. Like if you look at the bottom left, you have kind of a line of snow or footprints going that way. And then to the right, bottom right corner, there's another line going right into that. And all of that leads you right into the mountains. So I think, yeah, I think this looks good in black and white though. To me, it looks better in black and white. So that was a cool shot. Canon EOS 20D, nice. So we'll do a full screen. Yeah, I like it. It's really nice. In a full screen, it really needs a border like this, right? So yeah, I think that looks really good. All right, let's go. I think that was the last one. Then there's one here from Annette. So let's see if that comes in. There we go. Yeah, maybe a 16 by 9. Let me explore that real quick. Because the white border almost made it a 16 by 9, right? There. If I bring this down, oh, that's too much. 16 by 9 is a little bit tight. Come up this way. Something like that maybe, right? I mean, I think it looked better the other way, but that's a 16 by 9. Okay, let's go to Annette's. So Annette used a EM1 Mark III with a 300 f4 Pro. Wow. ISO 100 at 5.612 of a second. Minus 1.7 EV. Interesting. Interesting you had to dial in that much negative exposure comp. I mean, that's a 1 2/3 stop. But I see what you're talking about. You're probably trying to save the highlights here. So that, yeah, it was a good call. Um, yeah, I'd like to see more of the eye and less of the rear end here. Looks like he's just scratching his cheek. So let's try that. Oh, I'm losing the horns. And that doesn't look right. Okay. Let me see if I can save this highlight. I mean, this red and green are supposed to work together, but uh, okay. Did I not download this? I didn't download the optics module for it. I knew there was something just a tiny bit off. There we go. So if I crop in this tight, it would be hard to tell if that was his own foot or not, or if some other animal was kicking it. All right, I think I'll go with this. Let me see. Yeah, just maybe just a tiny bit more contrast. Um, no, I don't think that, the background, I don't want to be too light. I'd rather it be a little bit less color altogether, just a little more muted. Like I dialed it down right in here, the yellows and greens, to do the subject separation, something like that. Because if I make it brighter, then it makes it harder to see the actual subject. Even though the tones on the subject won't change much. Let me just adjust this a slight bit more. So I'd rather mute the colors a little bit. I mean, I could do it by saturation as well. Wow. Yeah, I don't want to take away too much of the yellows because there's some yellow in the bowl itself. But okay, I think I'll call it here. Let me see. I may have pulled back a little too much on the red greens. Let me bring these back in a little bit. All right. So here's the original image. Let me back it off a little. So, you don't have any choice when you're with a prime. You take the shot as you get it. Um, but luckily, this lens is so sharp. This combination is pretty amazing. So I decided to just crop in just so we can capture the expression of this bull's face. And like what Rajo was asking about the grass, going lighter I think would have been harder to see. Just to give you some idea, if I raise the brightness of the grass, uh, I I don't know, maybe. Let me maybe not the yellows. I think I added a little vignette. I did. But either way, I think it's a nice shot. And it's just amazing. It's pretty amazing how clear and sharp this image is. Um, I mean, it has to render out a little bit, but it looks really good. That's a lens I got to get one day. All right. I think we're ready to go to the viewer edits. Oh, there's one here from Randy. Randy has a vlog that he did the other day. I don't know if this is from that vlog or not, but he went out driving and everything was closed. That's cool, Randy. Nice. I mean, everything out there is desert, though. My God. He drove for hundreds of miles and nothing but like this, rocks and sand and some dried up bushes. That's why the wildfires out there just go crazy. That's cool, Randy. Thanks for sending that in. The Gorn. This is called the Gorn. Okay. So apparently he did vlog this, so check out his channel. I know I will to see what he did. Let's go to the viewer edits. And oh, the Gorn. Oh my God, Randy. Now I know what you're talking about. That scene is this is from the Star Trek episode, that Gorn, that green lizard creature, right? That they were fighting. Okay, now the context. Now this is freaking awesome, right? Okay, I got you. That's cool. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that because I read the Gorn. Where's my Photolab? Here it is. Man, so we had at least two shots today from TV shows, right? We had Star Trek The Gorn, and then we had The Prisoner uh, with that little town, which I forget the name of it. I thought it had a name, but okay. Not like the real life name, but the movie name for that town. Uh, let's go here. Yeah, Kirk was up there. That's right. So the original image, um, man, I just took this image. I'll show you guys. This is from my photo walk the other day. And where's my JPEG? Oh, this is brutal. I know I have a JPEG image of this. Here it is. So here's the original image, right? Straight out of camera JPEG. Nothing fancy. I just took the shot Well, this is the same shot, just a slightly different angle. Yeah, I think this is the one. So my thoughts here when I was composing it is I wanted a little bit of this flower on the bottom left and a little bit of these flowers in the background, and then of course this being in the right thirds of the frame. So let's see what you guys did. Um, if we go back to here, oh, okay. This is from, how do you show the information? Control I? Surge. Okay, Surge. Nice soft focus. Completely blurred out this bottom half to where, yeah, I like it though. And then you went front and center and framed it. Oh, hold on. Let me back it off. There we go. Now this is Surge's edit. That's better. Nice square frame. I like it. I like it. I like how you crushed the background completely to black and blurred out everything else. Soft focus. It looks good. Okay, Edie, we'll see you. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, the village. Thank you. It was just referred to as the village. You're right. You're right, Scott. Um, oh, this is just a black and white version from Surge. Okay, looking good. I think I like the color better though. All right, let's go to, gosh, who is this? This is Ian. Okay, Ian. This is very psychedelic. Yeah, psychedelic. All right, let's see what else we got here. This one here. Oh, that's interesting. Now it kind of looks like a microphone, right? When you, I don't know why. I was just thinking microphone when I saw this, but that's cool. And this was John Follows. Okay, John. If you're still here, you can explain what you were doing here. But this looks like a microphone now. Oh my God. Somebody put an eyeball in here. That's awesome. Back this off. Square frame. That's cool. Raho. Good job, Raho. That is cool. And let's see. Oh, look at this. A nice color swap or shift to red. It's almost like a cross-process type film. That's interesting. I like it though. Good job, Image Writer. I like this edit. Um, look at this. This is like an oil painting. That's pretty good too. I mean, I was struggling with this image personally. I just looked at it and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. But these are awesome edits. I would have never thought of a lot of these. Joni, good job, Joni. I like it. And okay, this is a clean edit, just a square crop basically. Ivan, okay, Ivan. Very good. Muted the colors a bit. And another one that it just, I don't know, it always looks like a microphone. I like the tones on this. Scott, okay, Scott, good job. This is a nice clean black and white. And very tight crop here. Just right in, so your eye goes right in for all this detail down here, right? Another one from Scott. Okay, I like your first, this black and white better. Okay. Oh, I like this one. Really good tones on the sepia. It's got to be Scott again, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is my favorite now. I like this mild sepia tone. And, ooh, Wow, this is cool. Hold on. Ellie's just losing her mind here. Just the UPS driver. I'm not getting anything today, but this is a cool edit. Um, no, I didn't get any cameras today. I like this edit. Who did this? Scott, man, you're on a roll. I think I like your sepia the best, but this is really good too. And oh, look at that. Whoops. Look at this. That's an awesome oil painting. That doesn't even look like a photo anymore. That looks totally legit. That is cool. Good job, Dave. Wow. I think this will be my favorite one. Yeah, this one, see, is similar, right? You kind of try to, wow, this is really saturated. And everything is tinted green now. Let's see. This is from John. This one, yeah. I like the crop, and you crush the background. So this is very tall, front and center. It's just this greenish tint overall that is throwing me off a little. But I like the crop and the processing otherwise. Oh, that's the same thing, I believe. Why is this going backwards? Oh, ooh, look at this. Yeah, really nice edits today, right, Scott? I mean, pretty amazing overall. The with an image that I thought was just, I thought the flower was really cool, but the photographically, I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, this sucks. I couldn't think of anything to edit, but you guys really came up with some good ones. Who did this one? Marcel. Good job, Marcel. I like it. You focused all the light on the one flower. Same idea here. You focus all the light on one flower and heavy vignette. That's cool. I bet this is Marcel again. Oh, Garrett. Okay, wow. That's interesting. I would have expected this from Marcel, not, but that's cool. Let's see. And yeah, this is I bet, whoops, sorry. I bet this is Garrett again. Let's see. Yeah, kind of the same image but in color. Nice though. I like it. It's very different look to an otherwise, just very busy image, I thought. And yeah, this is very similar to what John Truman did. The green tint though on the petals is what I'm not a big fan of that, but I like the processing overall. A little bit too much light on the bottom right, but yeah. Let's see who did this one. Marcel. Okay, Marcel. Oh, and that's the last one. Um, so yeah, lots of good edits in here. Yeah, the Vincent Van Gogh, right? That was probably my favorite was this one by Dave. Where did Vincent Van Gogh? Stupid joke. Yeah, it was tough for me too, John. Trust me, I didn't even try to edit this. I just took the straight out of camera JPEG and said that's fine. I didn't even post it to Instagram. I thought it was so bad. I mean, I don't post my best images to Instagram, as you guys know, but I certainly don't post ones that I think are just ugh, terrible. I didn't like this photo at all, really, but I said there's the flower is just fascinating. Like Joni did a good job isolating the flower. I mean, these are all really good edits. So, anyhow, I'm going to call it here. Thanks everybody for coming in today. I really appreciate you submitting all your images and giving me a chance to edit them. I really try to do my best. I know in a couple of them I didn't do justice at all, so I apologize, particularly to Adrian. I really couldn't make that work for some reason. Um, and despite it being a really interesting image, I don't know why that one's. I may go back to that later and just work on that, outside of the stream. But in any case, and great edits on my image. Man, I mean, you took an image that I thought was just had potential, but I didn't know how to do it either. And you guys did a great job. So you guys have a good rest of your week. I'll be back most likely on Sunday, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little later. I'm not sure about Sunday. But just keep checking my channel and you'll see it when you see it. So you guys have a good weekend.